Hi everyone. So thank you so much for everyone that have voted on Instagram. This is the design we are finally going to execute. So been crazy at work, but now I finally have time to work on draping this top. Oh yeah, and I'm calling it top because the design, the bottom is basically a circular skirt. I'm gonna execute it with a lot of pleats. So it's just going to be a matter of calculating the bottom circumference and then pleating that into my waist. So really then the only important thing for me to make a pattern for is just like the top portion of the dress. So this video is gonna kind of capture the process of how I'm gonna drape this. Let's get started. So in my studio, I have everything I need to make this possible. For style taping, I am going to use this hem tape. It's just seam binding tape to outline the style lines in which I am going to use as a guide to drape. So here we go. I'm going to make the neck slightly higher to capture the essence of the design. So now that my style line is set, I have cut out a big old block of muslin. It's very lightweight and it's comparable to the main fabric I'm going to use. I'm gonna drape the center panel first. So once I get the fabric, the muslin, into the body, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trace out the outline. My dress form have these seam grooves in all the princess seams, under the bust seams and inside seams. That makes it very easy for me to always have a very standardized shape. It's been really helpful. So I roughly marked where the pattern piece is, briefly marked where the seam line is, and I'm going to true it later when I take it off the form. So make sure to mark what it is. Put this closer so I can cut it away. Here is my center front piece. Let's go to the back. So this is the second piece, and we kind of need to remember what we did for the first piece. So if you remember, when we traced out the outline, I used the top of the binding, seam binding. I'm going to do the same for the back to keep consistency. So when I have to sew them all together later on, they match up easier. And then for the waist tape, I went to the middle of the tape, and I'll do the same here. So this is my center back piece. So we have finished the center back and center front piece, and so now we are going to do the little bit more challenging part, which is the side panel. So here I have prepped the muslin. I don't know if you can see it. I have drawn a little cross for a straight grain and cross grain mark on my muslin piece. This would be used as a guideline for us, so when we're manipulating the fabric, that we kind of don't lose track of our grain lines, okay? So for the side seam, I'm going to take this off. Since I have the style lines in place, the pattern shape is not going to change. So I have this, the cross where it is, line up to the chest level. This little tape is my chest level. Straight across to the back. So this takes a lot of eyeballing, obviously. You don't want this to be totally skewed, but you will notice that as you get this line across straight, your straight grain, as you get your cross grain straight, your straight grain will be a little bit on the angle. That's okay. That's just the body shape in place. It will give me like amazing contrasting stripe variants as well, which I am looking forward to and counting on. Here, this nice little bubble, we don't want that. So I'm just gonna cut in and just make sure the fabric lays nice and flat. And this is how we would drape a side panel. So now the piece is on the body, nice and flat, and we can continue to mark. Now always marking on the outside of the tape, starting at where the princess seam on my dress form is. And just go around, marking all the things as you do. So for the side seam, you might ask, well, do I mark the outside of the side seam or the inside of the side seam? So I always like to mark the outside of the side seam, only because it gives me a little bit more room to work with, and ease over body is important because this dress form is pretty much exactly my size. So a lot of times if I mark it skin tight in the woven fabric, it doesn't feel very comfortable. So here is my side panel. I'm going to mark it side front. So I'm going to go ahead and do the side back.